Hi, welcome back to my channel. In this episode, I'll provide a detailed market update for the housing market in Winter Springs, Florida, focusing exclusively on single-family homes. We'll explore whether a housing crash is imminent and share some exciting news about potential rate cuts. Let me give you a brief summary of where we've been. The Federal Reserve decided to hold interest rates steady after its meeting on June 11th, keeping the Fed fund rate between 5.25% and 5.5%. To combat inflation, the rate was raised 11 times between March 2022 and July 2023. Inflation has receded, but the Fed has signaled it wants more positive data before they can start decreasing rates. In March 2024, the central bank predicted 3/4 point rate cuts by the end of the year. But we have not seen any cuts yet. Although now that we are in a disinflationary path, we may get lucky and see at least one cut before the end of the year. Let's see what the experts are saying about a housing market crash. In this Bankrate article by Jeff Ostrowski, dated June 30th, he goes on to say, mortgage rates are high, but home prices keep rising. He says blame the lack of housing supply. Economists predict that any market correction will be modest and not on the scale of the Great Recession. Experts do not expect a housing market crash due to the low inventory, strict lending standards, and other factors. To the dismay of would-be home buyers, property prices just keep rising. It seems nothing, not even some of the highest mortgage rates of the past 2 decades, can stop the continued climb of home prices. Lawrence Yun, chief economist for the National Association of Realtors, says the U.S. market had finally started slowing in 2022, and home prices seem poised for a correction. But a strange thing happened along the way to a market crash. Home values started rising again. Prices hit a new time high in May, according to the National Association of Realtors, which reports that the median existing home prices in the United States were up 5.8% over last year. Hi, my name is Evelyn Malave, broker associate with LPT Realty. I've been selling homes in Central Florida with a focus in Winter Springs since 1989. If you're considering buying or selling a home, I would appreciate the opportunity to represent you. Now back to my market update. Here's what's happening with supply and demand. Greg McBride, CFA for Bankrate, goes on to say, in another reflection of ongoing increases, the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Home Price Index for April was up 6.3% from a year earlier, also reaching an all-time high. In October 2023, home values held steady even as mortgage rates soared to 8%, reaching their highest levels in more than 23 years. The main culprit is a lack of housing supply and strong demand. Inventories remain frustratingly tight, with the National Association of Realtors May data showing only 3.7% month supply. We're not going to see home prices decline, says Rick Arvillo, head of mortgage firm New American Funding. There's just not enough inventory. Skylar Olson, chief economist at Zillow, agrees about the supply and demand imbalance. She predicts home prices will continue rising through 2024. Welcome news for home sellers, but not so great for first-time home buyers struggling to become homeowners. We're not in that space where things are going to suddenly become more affordable, Olson says. In fact, the trend is quite the opposite. According to Realtor.com's May 2024 housing market trend report, high mortgage rates have increased the monthly cost of financing the typical home. Taking all this into account, housing economists and analysts agree that any market correction is likely to be modest. Housing economists point to 5 main reasons that the market will not crash anytime soon: low inventory, lack of new construction housing, large amounts of new buyers, strict lending standards, and fewer foreclosures. There are still far more buyers than sellers, and that means a meaningful price decline can't happen. There's just generally not enough supply, says Mark Fleming, chief economist at Insure First American Financial Corporation. There are more people than housing inventory. That's Economy 101. The Fed fund rate remains unchanged, and here's why. In a meeting held in Portugal on July 2nd, Chair Jerome Powell said the U.S. is back on a disinflationary path, but policymakers need more data before cutting interest rates to verify that the recent weaker inflation reading provides an accurate picture of the economy. Today's inflation rate is at 2.6%, but is still above the Fed's target rate of 2%. Recent data suggests we might see a rate cut in September. However, I don't think that will significantly impact the Winter Springs housing market. What we really need is more affordable housing. With the median sales price for a single-family home in Winter Springs of $510,000, our housing market remains out of reach for most buyers. Now onto my market update for Winter Springs. Per MLS in Winter Springs, the median sales price for a single-family home in June 2024 was $510,000. 46 homes sold, and the average days on the market were 12. The average interest rate was 6.86%. Although these homes closed in June, most of them went under contract in May. It takes an average of 30 days to close a home. Now let's see a year-over-year comparison. For June 2023, when the median sales price was also $510,000, 32 homes closed, and the average days on the market were 6, and the average interest rate was 6.71%. In June 2022, the median sales price was $471,000, 42 homes closed, and the average days on the market were 5, with an average interest rate of 5.81%. If you notice, the days on the market are increasing year over year. Before recording this video, I went into MLS, and we now have 74 active single-family homes on the market. You may have heard that Florida and Texas are the two states where home prices are coming down the quickest in the nation, but that's not the case in Winter Springs. Our home prices are still increasing. The median income in Winter Springs is $84,952, while the median sales price for a single-family home is $510,000. To purchase a home at this price, a buyer will need a FICO score of 700 or better and a 20% down payment, which amounts to $102,000. The mortgage payment, including taxes, which I estimate at $5,000 a year, and insurance, which I estimate at $3,000 a year, will be $3,343 a month. This is with an estimated interest rate of 6.85%. To qualify for a mortgage with this income, the buyer's total monthly debts, including the house payment and any other obligations, cannot exceed $3,328 a month. In this scenario, the buyer cannot have any other debt other than the mortgage payment, or they will have to make a larger down payment. I hope you found this information informative. I appreciate you coming back to my channel. Below, I will post a link to the school district for Seminole County, a link for the Winter Springs calendar so you can see all the upcoming events throughout the city, and a link to the Humane Society. They are always in need of volunteers and donations. Bye for now, and be safe.